Meridian racing pigeons offer free of charge our racing pigeon velocity and speed calculator. At the present time, this is only available for Android mobile phones and Android tablets. After installing our app and tapping on the MRP icon, you're presented with this opening screen. You will notice the two buttons have coloured backgrounds, and we use these colours to identify between miles per hour and kilometers per hour as you're progressing through the apps. And so anytime you see a yellow background, you know you're working in miles per hour in that particular app, and if you see a blue background, then you know you're working in kilometers per hour within that app. To find out what each of the three apps does, click on either of the two buttons on the opening screen, then select the How to Use button, and the next screen describes what each of the three apps does. One of the apps will give you the velocity, flying time and speed by entering the distance and the amount of time you think they will need to cover that distance. And the other app can be used for training, or particularly on race day before going to the club strike-off, you'll have full details of the bird's velocity, flying time and speed. So let us run through my own particular favourite of the three apps. I firstly select the miles per hour tab. Then on the next screen I select the race in progress, and this then brings up our race input screen. And we now proceed to input the race distance together with the time the birds were released. You start the inputs by tapping into the miles box, and this brings up the numeric keypad to actually enter the numbers required. As you complete each box, you then tap into the next box that requires a further input. When you have double checked that the race distance and the release time is correct, then when all the inputs have been made, you tap the green Go button to complete the display. And here is a film of the app in actual running mode. And if we zoom in, you can see the velocity, flying time and speed are all on countdown whilst the birds are homeward bound from the race point. And so this gives you a good idea of exactly the state of the race, well, to your particular loft anyway. You will have noticed on this continuous race countdown there are two buttons, capture and view captures. Well, I'm sure, just like me, you've often gone to the club and said what a bad trap you had and how much time you've lost. Well, these two buttons will allow you to actually record the time that you first see the bird in the sky, and then it's simply a matter of finding out the difference of the time you press this capture button and the actual time he recorded on the clock in the loft. Upon pressing the capture button, it takes you to this screen, which gives you a number of manipulative buttons on what you want to do with these records. But the main thing to remember is if you still want to record further birds in the same race, then you will press the green button. But never press the home button unless you want to come out of that particular race. Well, that concludes our app description, and I hope you find the app useful.